Welcome everybody. This is a reoccurring segment we've been doing. We've been re-picking the Oscars just to, shove it to the Academy. And this episode, we're going to be looking at the year 2014. We have a familiar host, Lindsay.
Hello.
And a first-time host, that was the giggling you heard, Todd.
Hello, how are you?
Tell the dear listener your favorite director, or one of your favorite directors if you can't pick just one.
Sure. Probably of directors that are newish now, Yorgos Lanthimos. But then probably overall, I'm still a Tarantino guy in terms of total body of work. No, I get
Mad Gang.
I get the boo. Probably I'm pretty predictable. I'm like a Tarantino or maybe like a Kubrick, something like that.
It's fair. I love me some Stanley Kubrick.
Yep.
But yeah, let's get right into this. So just for everybody that's new here, we have, I think, 6 categories. The Technical Award, Supporting Actor and Actress, Lead Actor, Actress, Director, and of course, the coveted Best Picture. Each of us nominate 2 for each category. It was a little weird because we did 4 last time. But Todd, kick us off with your first nominee for the Technical Award. Oh, wait, real quick. Just for people that don't know, this is like a compilation of sound design, sound editing, and general cinematography. You can throw in script if you want. Basically, everything, like all the other innocuous categories, balled into one. Because as fun as it would be to do 50 categories, we know what people are here for.
Right. So for my first nominee, I decided to maybe go outside of the box for normal Oscar stuff. I went with Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So I'm excited about that pick. But did it for a couple reasons. One is I don't think that Marvel has ever gotten its nod at the Oscars, and I think it deserves maybe one. And I think this is the best picture that isn't an Avengers film, and it came at a really critical time right after the first Avengers film, where I think the Avengers could have just gone into gone and kind of disappeared. And I think that this actually was a film that kind of kept the Marvel universe alive, for better or worse, and was a very good solid solo film. And I think it just has great car races.
Yeah. It's such a good movie.
I agree with you too, because I remember distinctly seeing this in the theater and thinking Avengers sort of happened, and this is sort of the end of everything. That was the finish. So yeah, no, it definitely brought still that flame or a spark to the MCU. So great pick. For my first pick, I think it would be impossible to not pick this film in the technical category. It's a film I rewatched recently, and it is Mr. Iñárritu's Birdman. The cinematography is stupendous. The score is fantabulous. The production design is really interesting. And just overall, it's such a win in the technical department. And Lubitsky, I believe, is the one who does the cinematography, and he's always on his A game. So that's my first one. Lindsay, give us your 2.
Both of them? Okay. My first one is John Wick, because I'm obsessed with that cinematography. I think it's so cool, and really made that stand out from other just general action movies. Really was into it. And the choreography, the stunt choreography, so good. I know that's not an award at the Oscars, but it should be.
It should be, yeah.
No, it should be. I agree.
And then my next pick is The Maze Runner. And I know that's not one that most people would go for. But listen, they had a really small budget, and that movie looks amazing for what they had. They really made a really nice looking movie. The production design and everything was just really well done, and I think that deserves some recognition.
Oh, I am looking at a budget of $34 million.
Okay, but it looks like a really high budget movie.
That's impressive.
I just want to jump in. Yeah. I saw this movie literally just now. I just finished watching this movie. Like,
Really?
yeah, because in anticipation that Lindsay might be doing this, given her
because
love
it's
for
my
it.
favorite movie.
Yeah, and I have to say
Dylan O'Brien nom.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
impressive. It is impressive for that budget. Even at that budget, I think it's impressive.
Thank you for the validation.
Oh, geez. There's some great picks that are still on the table. I didn't think Lindsay was going to pick Maze Runner.
Yeah, sorry. I know. I was like, forget Interstellar.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. You bring it up. I'm going to have to bring up Interstellar. Funny, Todd mentions he just watched Maze Runner. I just finished Interstellar. I do think this is one of the few films that I don't think I can watch in the comfort of my house. I need to watch it in the theater. And there's a lot of these I was rewatching, and it wasn't that big of a deal or noticeable. But there's a significant dip. I was also doing other stuff, in fairness, sort of preparing for midterms coming around. So in Interstellar's regard, I wasn't at full attention, but it's still a masterful film in the technical category. So that's my second pick. Todd, round us out.
Okay, so similar to Lindsay, I was interested in stunt choreography, and I wanted to give a nod to a foreign film and go with The Raid 2. Which is a film directed by Gareth Edwards in Indonesia. And I think the two Raid films are pretty much the only films that make John Wick look pretty good, but like they're yeah, and I genuinely believe they're the best fight films of the past whatever number of decades. And I just wanted to give it its due here, because I think they're very good films, and especially for people who know them. This film especially is beautiful. Yeah.
Especially the prison cell fight scene when they're in the rain.
Yes, that's amazing. It's one of the craziest scenes I've ever seen. Yeah.
Choreograph everything so perfect, and Eco needs more love. Hopefully he can get some better projects. But so we have our 6. Captain America, Winter Soldier, Birdman, John Wick, Maze Runner, Interstellar, and The Raid 2. Lindsay, what's your pick here?
I'm going to go Winter Soldier.
Oh, nice. Todd, what is your pick?
I'm going to go Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay. That locks it in. I would have gone Birdman.
That's fair. That's a very pretty movie.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. Yeah. Winter Soldier is the pick here. Thank you guys for giving credit for Birdman still. And we move on to the supporting actor category. And I believe, I'm first. Sifting through my list. I wasn't expecting to go first this early. All right. So for my supporting actor category, I'm actually going to go let me get the name here. I was literally about to say Tony Ravioli, and that is not correct. Tony Revolori for the Grand Budapest Hotel. This dude is fantastic, and it's insane to say like he's one of the best performances here, given the cast that is also like surrounding him is so incredible. I forget actually. Todd, did you also have this in your list?
Not him, no.
Okay,
but
sweet. I was worried I took one of your picks. Never mind, we're good. Then I'll pass it on to Lindsay. What is your first nominee for supporting actor?
My first nominee is Oscar Isaac from Ex Machina. I think that was like such a different role for him, and he was just so creepy, but like still like really charming. And I don't know, he was so good in that role. And I was really into it. Plus that dance scene.
Yeah, I was going to say the dance scene alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, for most of that opening of the movie, like it is just a conversation piece, and Oscar Isaac is just chewing it.
He is. He's so good.
I love him in that.
Yeah, he rocks that short hair. Todd, what are your two picks? You go back to back here.
Sure. So for my second pick, I went with Stephen James, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It might be Stephen James from Selma. So I wanted to nominate somebody from Selma because I think there's so many talented supporting actors in that movie, and I went with Stephen James, who plays Congressman. Why am I blanking temporarily? Anyway, I'll come to it in a second. But who represents the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Commission and represents the tension with Martin Luther King. And so I really liked his role in there. I thought he stood out, and he's just a great actor. He was also the lead in If Beale Street Could Talk, if anybody's seen that. So I really like him a lot.
As soon as I saw that, I'm going to be honest, it's been a little bit since I've seen Selma.
Sure.
But he is fantastic in If Beale Street Could Talk. So I was like, oh, fully for this nominee. Great pick.
Thank you. Oh, and for the first pick, this is one of the only ones I think the Oscars just clearly got right. I went with J.K. Simmons from Whiplash because that still pretty much sticks in my mind as a performance. It's like etched into my brain. He was haunting as the teacher.
Awesome. Yeah. I was looking through their nominees and I was like, yeah, J.K. Simmons is a lock for this, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, Lindsay, what's your second pick?
Second pick is Sebastian Stan from The Winter Soldier.
Hey.
Yeah, he was so good as the villain, and he just like really made me feel so much sympathy for him, and he like carried that whole movie, even though he wasn't in that many scenes really. I stand Sebastian Stan.
Lovely. Okay, so I have a question for y'all just to make sure. Would you, for What We Do in the Shadows, is Jermaine Clement considered supporting, or are they all leads? Because that's more of an ensemble.
I think it's up to you, as the Academy has shown before. I think.
Okay.
It's always so complicated.
Yes, and it's weird because like I forget. I think it was Fences. I would have considered Viola Davis for. I forget if it was supporting or lead, but. There was a tough competition in one of them, so they ended up like flipping it, and I was like, "This doesn't make sense. Like none of these rules."
Like it feels like it never really matters. They kind of just pick whatever they want.
Yeah, they just move stuff around willy nilly. No, for my pick, I'm gonna go Jermaine Clement for What We Do in the Shadows. If it doesn't count, come fight me. I dare you. But I just think this dude's so funny. Flight of the Conchords is hilarious. I think he's one of the best parts of Moana. I know a lot of people don't like his crab singing or just the characterization.
Shiny's one of the best songs.
Shiny's a bop. Like, that song rules. And the dude replaced David Bowie. Like, that's who they wanted. And then they were like, oh, no, David Bowie died. He kills it in that song. He's a very versatile actor, mastermind when it comes to comedy. So that's going to be my nominee. And then I'll let myself go first for the pick. I'm going to have to go J.K. Simmons. Todd, what is your pick?
I'm going to go with J.K. Simmons.
Ooh. Lindsay, what would be your pick?
I was going to go Oscar Isaac.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
no unanimous one so far. Wow, that was a really interesting group of six we came up with.
Yeah,
this is I think we were talking about it with Blake on our 2013 one. 2013 is like the first year where I was like, oh, I feel bad for leaving things off because 2012 and prior, like 2012 and 11 I was fine like getting 10, but I wasn't like too mad about leaving anything off. This year specifically, like I am mad at myself for like how many things I am having to leave off because there's so many films.
There were so many good ones. Yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah, I had a hard time, especially with the films category and directors category.
Yeah, the directors category is going to be wild.
Yeah.
But we're going to move on to supporting actress. Lindsay, you are up first. What's your pick?
Okay, it's Kristen Wiig from the Skeleton Twins. And this was another one where I was not sure if she would be lead or supporting, but I went with supporting. But I love this movie and I love her in it because I went into it expecting a comedy and it's very much not. She just like really, really kills it and it's just so touching. And people forget how like talented of an actual actress she is, as well as a comedian, you know. So yeah,
Sure.
shout out to Kristen Wiig.
Awesome. Todd, what is going to be your first pick?
For supporting actress, I went with Jessica Chastain from Interstellar. And the reason I went with her is Best Supporting Actress was actually the category I had the roughest time with. Just with coming down to two people. And I wanted to talk about Interstellar at some point in my rankings, and I think she did ground the emotional kind of tension of the film, which is that if her character hadn't worked in that film, then that last hour is kind of boring. So that's where I went with her.
Definitely, yeah. Huge part of holding that film up. Oh, geez, I am now back to back. Okay, I might go crazy because there's a particular actor that I think or actress that needs to be nominated. I guess actor is gender neutral, so never mind. But sure. There's a particular actress that I want to nominate, and she's great in two films. So I'm trying to pick between the two and decide which one I liked more. It's going to be one of my nominees. I guess my first one is going to be Tina Fey.
Okay.
And I think, unpopular opinion, I really love The Muppets Most Wanted. And
Okay.
Tina Fey kills it as Nadia.
Right.
I believe she's in charge of the gulag. It's just a small scene, but it's one of those in the middle where like it's so hilarious and like wins me over that I'm like, okay, wait, this movie rules. Like the Muppets know what they're about. Tina Fey, you are a treasure, and she continually reminds me of how like you mentioned with Kristen Wiig, like the comedic talent that she has. So that's my first pick.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't seen The Muppets Most Wanted.
How dare you? No, it's a lot of people. It was sort of forgotten.
Yeah.
Do you like The Muppets Most Wanted?
I did. I liked it. Yep.
Nice. All right, we're among friends here. And then for my second pick, pardon me if I mispronounce this, but I am going to go with Suzanne Clements. Never mind, that wasn't that hard. And this is for her role in Mommy. She is absolutely stellar as the character of Kyla. And
oh wait,
really,
like Xavier Dolan's mommy?
Yes.
I didn't think that one would count.
Yeah,
so I didn't include it.
But yeah.
Wait, why?
What counts for the Oscars? It was released in 2015, I think, right?
Okay. Wait. Let's pause for a second. And for the listener, this is an important thing, just so you guys know. Ex Machina is the same case for the Oscars bit.
Yeah.
I'm just going off
it?
of Letterboxd for ease, or else I'm going to have to check every single one, you know?
Sure.
Okay, got it. Hold on, I'm going to switch one thing.
Ex Machina was
then.
released at like Vancouver, I think, in 2014, but didn't get released till 2015, like in March or something like that.
Got it. That works.
So
Okay,
we definitely,
cool. Okay.
there's definitely going to be a couple of these films where you say, wait a minute, like, what the heck? This didn't come out till this year or whatever.
I'm glad she's getting nominated then. That's awesome. Woo.
Yeah. I just realized both of you aren't going to have Mommy on here.
I just switched mine, so we'll be fine.
Gotcha. Then we'll be fine. Those are my two picks. Again, Suzanne Clement is incredible. Todd, back to you with your second pick.
I went with Emma Stone from Birdman. I just think she's great in Birdman. I don't really have a lot else to say. She's just awesome. And I remember so many times that she just looks visually amazing, like in the film, and she's great. So she was my pick.
Todd, is she better in Birdman than Amazing Spider-Man 2?
No.
That's a rough one for me, but I'm going to say yes for me. Yes.
Lindsay, round us out. What's your last pick?
Saoirse Ronan from the Grand Budapest Hotel. I really liked that whole cast, and I wanted to nominate somebody from it, and she stood out to me because I love her.
I was debating nominating her. She's in the movie like barely, but she like owns all her.
She like
time.
every time she's on screen, she's just like, I'm so drawn to her. So yeah,
it's similar to I forget the actress's name that's in Booksmart, but the same one that's in Short Term 12.
Oh, Caitlin Dever or Dever.
Yeah. She owns like all the screen time in Short Term 12, but she's not in it too much. But the scenes that she's in matter. Okay, we have a great group of 6. I think, Todd, you're up first with your pick.
For, what is this again? Sorry.
Supporting actress. So Kristen Wiig, Jessica Chastain, Tina Fey, Suzanne Clement, Emma Stone, and Saoirse Ronan.
Well, I'm actually going to go with Suzanne Clement.
Oh, awesome. Lindsay, what is your pick?
Same, Suzanne Clement.
We have our first unanimous pick, because I am also going Suzanne Clement, and I agree with Lindsay's adoration for mommy. Sweet. All right, now we move on to the lead actor category. Todd, you're back up at first.
For me, the lead actor, okay, I this is my one I'm most excited about talking about, at least.
This is hard.
I knew this is going to be a weird one. I went with Andy Serkis from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, because if you've seen that movie, what he does is amazing, and I want to break this. I want to break this barrier and have a CGI actor like Andy Serkis represented in some sort of way, and I'm just really impressed by the fact that he's first billed in this movie as a CGI actor, where he interacts with actors like Jason Clarke, and he still dominates. I just like him. I love him, and so I want to nominate him.
Sure, great pick.
That's
I love
cool.
the breaking of barriers. That's what we're all about at ATF. Killing those barriers that the Oscars set for us. Jeez. Man, I'm literally like looking through like the list I have, and I have like 10 people that I want to nominate because everyone's so great this year.
It was really hard.
I'll play it safe and go with my first pick as Ray Fiennes in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay.
Which I'm locking that in. Another love for this film. He's fantastic, and his chemistry with Tony, they really work well off each other, especially when they're both in front of Saoirse Ronan, and he's just sort of like charming, and he's like, don't flirt with her. They're so great working with Wes Anderson's dialogue. Really impressive trio. But Lindsay, I'm gonna move to you with your 2 picks.
Okay. I went with Michael Keaton in Birdman. He was phenomenal. That movie was really great. And I mean, not much to say. Like, that movie is awesome, and he was amazing, and it was like made for him, you know?
It really was. So when because most of these, this is the first year I sort of like got very into film. In that, like, the stuff they were nominating for the Oscars, I was like, oh, well, maybe this is good stuff. And then I watched it and I was like, whoa. But yeah, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew of Michael Keaton, but I didn't realize he was Batman when I first saw this. And just like knowing everyone's personalities going into Birdman after, like, on a rewatch, I was like, oh my God, like, there's so many layers to this. Really makes it fun.
Hey, you want to hear something crazy? The Oscars that did that for me was the 1995 Oscars.
Whoa.
Oh man, do you know how old I was? Do you know how old I was in 95?
I don't want to know how old you were in 95.
How old I was in 95? I was not born, Todd.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I just thought you think that's funny. I actually know what Oscars I had the same experience with, and it was that year. So
That's awesome.
That is cool.
Oh man.
So what category are we in? Oh,
we're still on lead actors.
So it's my second pick.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, I went with David Oyelowo from. I think I said that right. David Oyelowo from Selma. It's so hard to portray real life people, especially someone so like legendary, and he did such a phenomenal job. You know, like he just like really fell into that role, and I feel like he deserved a nomination at least for sure. But I thought he deserved to win.
Love it.
I agree. Well, I mean, I agree he deserved a nomination. Oh, this would be a great spot. Can I drop in that earlier Stefan James played Congressman John Lewis? I just didn't want to leave that out
awesome.
after all that. Yeah. So anyway, but go ahead. I agree with this pick. It's a great pick.
Yeah. So that was my pick.
Okay, so there's a lot of amazing actors. I just got done. I guess I'm gonna honorable mention a couple. Just because I already know Todd's second pick. I think the dude that is in Mommy is incredible. Doesn't quite make the cut for me. Sure. I think Matthew McConaughey is pretty fun. I think even though I don't agree with where Chris Pratt's going personally, like as a human, he's pretty good in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure.
Just a couple, like Tom Cruise is really fun. Joaquin Phoenix, like there's a whole slew of great actors. And I know what you're thinking, like, oh, that means he's going to pick one of those. No, I am not. I am going with Ryan Reynolds. Pause for you guys to think, what movie is Ryan Reynolds in?
That is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's this little film called The Voices. A couple of people, I've argued with my friends on this. A couple of people think it's just a straight up horror. I think it's one of the best horror comedies of all time. It's about a mentally unhinged factory worker that sort of starts listening to his cat and dog, and those are the voices in his head. And it's by Marjane Satrapi, who's the director and writer of Persepolis, one of my favorite films. And this is also just an absurd movie that I think a lot of people would love if they saw it. It is a little divisive, I will say, so just know what you're getting into. But I think Reynolds is fantastic, especially when he's literally having to act with a dog and a cat. So that's my second pick. But
okay, I have never even heard of this, so I will definitely check it out.
Yeah. I have seen this movie and I enjoy it a lot. So I recommend this movie. Yes,
this is great to hear. Most of the time when I mentioned, because I think I brought up The Voices. It would have been in our first couple of episodes. It might have been on our Us review, which was our first episode. And everyone that was on there was like, what is this project? And I was like, it's something. Check it out. But Todd, feel free to round us out with your last pick.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Nightcrawler got robbed this year. It's one of the... It was an Oscar snub that bothered me this year. It's one of two that like sincerely bothered me. I think if you watch that film is like entirely him. He is creepy. Sometimes they talk about how you look at an actor and you're like, oh, that's just that actor playing a role. Like you recognize him. This was just like Jake Gyllenhaal. I recognized it was Jake Gyllenhaal, but he scared the crap out of me. Like that's how I felt about like him in this role. I loved it. He was my clear pick for best actor.
Yes, this is peak unhinged Jake Gyllenhaal, and I support you.
Also, I think it's important to agree with your point because I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, the directing's interesting." Dan Gilroy has not gone on to make the best projects. That's not, to be disrespectful to him. But Roman J. Israel Esquire is okay. And Velvet Buzzsaw most consider to be bad. So I think that's even more of a testament to how talented Gyllenhaal is able to be. Because it's literally the whole time him just going crazy. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared of him.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. I love him in this. Yes.
All right, Lindsay, I think you're up first. What is your pick for this category?
I already did both of my actors.
No, sorry. What is your pick out of the 6?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Can you list them again?
Yes, Andy Serkis, Ray Fiennes, Michael Keaton, David Oyelowo, sorry, Ryan Reynolds, and Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm gonna go Jakey Jake.
Jake is got one vote. Todd, what's your pick?
That's 2 for Jakey Jake.
2 for Jakey Jake. Well, I have good news for you, Jakey Jake. That is 3 for Jakey Jake. Yeah, we have a double unanimous. I think the added thing here that's in my mind is that if this may have been nominated, I wouldn't be as, pushy on wanting Jake to win. But because like the great travesty, you sort of gotta
he's gotta push through. Yeah.
But we're gonna move on to the lead actress category. Lot of great picks here too. Let me look through mine real quick. Okay, so I had a question for y'all, and this is another one that we may disagree upon. Do you think Emily Blunt is in Edge of Tomorrow enough to be a lead?
Yes.
I don't know what Edge of Tomorrow is.
The Tom Cruise repeating Groundhog Day sci-fi.
Yeah, I think she'd be a lead.
Okay, cool. Because I'm going to go Emily Blunt in Edge of Tomorrow for my first pick.
Okay.
I think there's not a lot of like action stars, especially like of females. And in fairness, like they're not given like that many positions to do so. But I think this is a prime example of someone who's just killing it. Like Emily Blunt is, I'd say, better than Tom Cruise in this case because she's like the trained veteran. And Tom Cruise is literally like, he's working on his public image like after that. And he's like, oh, well, I got it. No one's taken over my place in Mission Impossible. People are talking about Emily too much. And Emily Blunt's incredible. It's a really fun movie, and her performance ties it together quite well. So I think, Lindsay, you are up. What is your first pick?
Rosamund Pike from Gone Girl.
Ooh.
She, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. Like, that role is just such a complicated one, Amy, and you want to hate her, but you also love her, you know what I mean? And she just does that so well. Like, you want to root for her, but you're also like, what a psycho. And yeah, she was phenomenal.
You know the kombucha girl gif?
No, I don't think so.
I'm trying to, let me see if I can find it real quick. That's how I feel about like picking anyone to root for in that movie.
Yeah.
Just because the whole time, like, I'm like, well, it's, so I'm going to share it in the group real quick.
Yeah, that girl.
Just because I'm like, oh, well, she's not raw. And it's like, the way she's doing this.
Like sometimes, but yeah.
But
that's exactly it.
That's an incredible pick. Todd, you are up with another back-to-back. What are your picks?
Okay, so apologies ahead of time if I mispronounce this name. My second pick is Sheila Vond from A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, which I don't know if y'all had seen or not. Oh, thank you. It's an Iranian film directed by Ana Lili Amanpour, and it's just this very simple black and white vampire film, and she plays the vampire, and she's just freaking great in it. And like she's very like haunting and has this great restraint, and it's a wonderful film, and she does a wonderful job in it.
Awesome. I haven't seen it yet. It's actually on my as I'm whittling down the 100 films of the decade I have left on my watch list. That's one of the few I have and I own. So it's one of those that I see and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I've disappointed you.
It's
really good.
It really is. I get the barrier though, because you look at it and you're like, this like artsy black and white vampire
Iranian,
film, but
black and white, yeah.
Sure, but it really is. It's very watchable as well. So I suggest anybody check it out.
Awesome.
And then it's my pick again, right? So, okay. So my pick for top was, I had to check this out. This film premiered in America in 2014. So I think that this is one of those weird ones where on Letterboxd it says 2013, but I checked and it was 2014. Charlotte Gainsbourg from Nymphomaniac Volume 2, the Lars von Trier film. I know Lars von Trier is kind of controversial. I like a lot of his films, and he has these lead roles for women that are just insanely awesome if people can, because of the physicality of them. So in this movie, she has to be like sexual and like also like very like passive. She has to deal with like issues of violence and like sex and like all these different things in this role, and it's just an exhausting role where she has to do so much, and I think she just nails it, and like it makes the movie work to the extent that it works. And so for me, it was the most impressive role of the year for an actress.
Awesome. Lindsay, what is your second pick?
Reese Witherspoon in Wild. She had to do so much. Yeah, it was wild. She had to do so much work, and oh my god, she just like, it's like her the whole movie, and she walks so much. And she's just phenomenal, and she really made me feel like, like when you think of Reese Witherspoon, I don't normally think like, I think like rom-coms and stuff like that, so like when I saw Wild, I was like, oh my god, she's like so talented, and it's a beautiful movie, and
awesome. Sweet. That was one of the ones I had on my list that I was gonna maybe do an honorable mention for. I have two real quick I want to shout out before I do my last nomination, if that's okay.
Sure.
I have Jenny Slate in Obvious Child, comedic performance. But she's
yes.
I just thought it was worth bringing up.
Yeah,
she's really funny. And I thought I'd hate this movie. I'm not sure about you guys, but I wasn't big on Jenny Slate before. I actually found her a little annoying on Parks and Rec.
Really?
And she kills it.
I've been obsessed with her since Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I don't definitely check it out. Oh my god, look it up on YouTube. She's amazing.
Will do. And then my other nominee was Areli Holmes from Heaven Knows What. This was a film from the Safdie brothers. It's about a young heroin addict roaming the streets of New York, and she absolutely kills it. I don't think she's been in too much afterwards. I know she was in American Honey, but she's really great in Heaven Knows What, and makes it a very watchable, sort of low-budget movie. But the pick here is going to be Anne Dorval for me from Mommy. Obviously, you guys didn't know about the weird rules we have.
That's my fault.
No, you're good. I should have mentioned it. But yeah, she's incredible here.
Lindsay out of it.
Yeah, I had it on my list, and then Todd told me to take it off.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah,
I just put it back though.
She's incredible here. Really, really something special. Especially just because the character of a mother can often like sort of come across as cliche if there's not like a powerful performance backing that. And that's what she really brings to the table here. But I guess I'm up first with the nominee. Oh man, there's two that I'm deciding between. I'll go Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl just because she's vicious in all the best ways possible. Todd, what is your pick?
I'm gonna go with Sheila Vaughn.
Ooh, sticking with your pick. I like it. I like the credit to yourself. Lindsay, what is going to be your pick? Yeah.
I'm going to credit myself also and pick Rosamund Pike.
Ooh, sweet. Yeah. Sweet. Rosamund.
Well deserved.
Yeah, no, awesome performance. All right, so here's where things all get bad. The director category. We only have 6 spots, and there's like 25 directors that deserve credit this year. And Lindsay, you are up first. What is your first pick?
Okay, I just changed this.
Ooh.
So I put Xavier Dolan for Mommy.
Okay, that is fair.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. It's such a beautiful movie, and the way he like plays with the aspect ratio, and the moment when he like opens it and it gets wide, like it's just phenomenal. And yeah, full credit to him for making that movie.
I was explaining to one of my friends, like, I was like, look, you really have to, because I was trying to pitch Mommy, and I was like, there's this part where, like, they always have these borders on, right? Because it's in 4:3, and it's like, you're thinking to yourself, oh, why does he do this? And, like, you don't really see films filmed this way. But the moment you get to it, and they, like, do something with it, it's magical. And
It's
he was
magic.
like, there's no way. And I was like, no, trust me, like, you are going to feel, like, chills all over your entire body. Like, that is one of the best things in film I have seen maybe ever. Like, it's up there for me. Like, magical.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful movie.
Yeah. Todd, you are up now with your first pick.
Sure. I went with Wes Anderson for Grand Budapest Hotel. Talking about age, I'm old enough to have gone to see his earlier movies in the theater. So like Rushmore,
You're
I saw
gonna say
in the
Bottle
theater.
Rocket.
No, but I saw Rushmore in the theater, and I really liked his earlier stuff until I saw this film, and I just think it's his most brilliant film, and just the color is amazing, and it's just overwhelming, and I think it's a real height for him. I'm very impressed by Wes Anderson.
Yeah, I feel like it's the most Wes Anderson movie. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
He's like, I'm gonna do everything as much as I can.
Oh man, that's tough. There's a lot of Wes Anderson movies. Yeah, no, definitely the style is here predominantly, but great first pick. All right. This is going to be a little odd because I have not brought this film up, so it's going to be its first nominee. And I don't know if this guy has done that much since. His name is Bill Pohlad. He is the filmmaker behind the little film Love and Mercy. That's a biopic about Brian Wilson of Beach Boys fame. Have you guys seen this?
Nope.
I haven't seen it, but that's the John Cusack's in that, right?
Yeah, John Cusack and Paul Dano.
Right.
And Paul Dano plays young Brian Wilson. John Cusack plays current day. And the reason it didn't get brought up before is because both of them are technically the lead. And the way they present this film is really something incredible, especially with how many look, I'm not coming at like standard biopics. They definitely have their place. But there's a lot of them specifically at the Oscars that are very much by the numbers. And I think they try something really experimental here. So that's going to be my first nominee. But for my second pick, I'm going to sort of trust my two other hosts that they're going to pick some great nominees because there's a couple people left, so maybe I'll get some flack for my two picks. But I'm actually going to go with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller for the Lego movie.
Yes.
It's a great pick.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite theater experiences probably ever. I think this film has like one of the highest like laughs per minute. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller do something really special here, just with their comedy, especially how easy it could have been just to make like a standard Lego movie. I'd argue that's sort of what we got with Lego Movie 2, which is not a bad film by any means, but it's just sort of more ordinary. And there's just so many jokes where you can watch it like 5 times and you're still finding new things to laugh at. I think Batman is handled fantabulously here. They do like a Star Wars cameo. They do cameos with all the characters you can think of, and they know how to operate in that world. These two are immensely talented. So that's going to be my second pick.
Cool, I love that.
Then Todd is back up.
I went with Ava DuVernay for Selma. This was the second snub that really bothered me. I really dislike biopics for the most part, and I study a little bit through what I do for work, this particular civil rights era, and I avoided this movie because I didn't think it would be that great. And I thought it would kind of annoy me because I get annoyed by biopics that change the facts. But I really loved this film. And I think so much of it had to do with her like directorial choices, like how she presented violence, how she created tension in certain points, even though this was a historical event that you can just read about on Wikipedia. And I think what she did was fantastic, and I think it was a great film, and I'm really sad she didn't get nominated.
Yeah, her snub really bothered me that year too.
Okay, was this? I believe this was the first year where like the Oscars So White really started trending, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I remember distinctly, like in my opinion, because I hadn't seen Selma yet, I was like, oh, I don't know what they're talking about. Because I always argued like, oh, well, it's more like you need diversity in the roles. Like, I don't know, there's people where they're like, oh, Will Smith in Concussion, like nominate him, and it's like, whoa, like don't just prop people up. Like the real conversation is like you want to put people in places to where they can win these awards. And you're definitely right. Ava
fully deserved it.
As soon as I saw Ava DuVernay directing Selma, like once I watched the movie, I was like, oh no, like this is sort of a snub. And a big middle finger to all the people where after A Wrinkle in Time, they were like, see, this is why we don't embrace diversity or whatever. Like, hey, listen, everybody has a couple stinkers, especially if it's a Disney, like,
also the direction wasn't what was wrong with A Wrinkle in Time. The writing. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
But no, I'm really interested where she goes with the rest of her career. So great pick. Lindsay, you're up with the last pick.
I went with David Fincher for Gone Girl, mostly just because I'm obsessed with him and the tone that he sets in all of his movies. I've never not enjoyed one of his movies, and this one was one of his strongest, I think. And I think he just has like such a specific style where, you're like watching a Fincher film, but they're all so unique and interesting. And I just love this movie a lot. And David Fincher.
Awesome. Do you guys have any honorable mentions you want to do real quick? Because I have a couple. If either of you want to go first before we pick the winner.
Alex Garland for Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, yep.
Yeah, awesome. I feel like that was a really strong debut.
I probably would have considered Xavier Dolan, so even though that's already been nominated, I just want to second that opinion.
Awesome. I was thinking Alejandro Iñárritu.
Oh, yes, obviously.
For Birdman was one that came to mind.
Yes.
The It Follows director, I'm trying to remember their name.
Can I throw out a weird one?
Go for it. David Robert
Matthew
Mitchell.
Vaughn.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. That was my
Oh, really? Yeah, Matthew Vaughn. That was such a cool, like, styled movie. It's Kingsman, I mean.
Kingsman,
Yeah. Great. Yeah, especially the church scene. I'm just like, oh my god. Yeah, I probably should have thrown that in the technical.
Yeah, again, it's a really stacked year where something like Kingsman, where I love Kingsman, like I just don't know where to like fit it in.
Yeah. So honorable mention to that movie.
I was thinking James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy. I know that's, comedic and MCU.
Oh, yeah.
But that project could have been terrible, like absolutely garbage.
Agreed.
And last one real quick, just for the fan base that's slowly developing. Yes, we are snubbing Damien Chazelle, but we have a really talented group, so it's not that big of a deal. I love Whiplash though, so no disrespect.
Whiplash is amazing.
Yeah, but let's get to it. We have Xavier Dolan, Wes Anderson, Bill Pohlad, Lord and Miller, Ava DuVernay, and David Fincher. Lindsay, you're up first. What is your pick?
Xavier Dolan. It's gotta be.
Okay, very nice.
That movie means so much.
Movie rules. I'm actually gonna go Lord and Miller for the Lego Movie. I do love Dolan though, so I understand the pick. But Todd, you are the tiebreaker or the tie maker, depending on what you go with.
It's a tie maker. I'm going Ava DuVernay.
Okay, fair.
Then Todd, you're up again. What would be your second pick?
My second pick would be. Do I have to pick of the other two choices?
No. Of all six.
Of all six, my second choice would be Wes Anderson.
This is going to be interesting.
This is going to be hard.
Well, because we just never done it. Well, it's never happened like this where it's been one. I don't know. Basically, I don't have a weight for second place votes. Like I just know they're lesser than first place votes, if that makes sense. And the reason I say that is my second pick is Wes Anderson for Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay.
So we technically have 2 votes Wes, 1 vote Duvernay, 1 vote Dolan, 1 vote Lord and Miller. I'm still gonna say that 2 second place votes aren't better than a first, right?
Well, for my second vote, I was gonna vote Ava DuVernay. So.
Oh, sweet! Then you solved everything. Awesome. And
so that would make Ava would have a first and a second. That's probably the best.
No. That beats the second and second. Ava DuVernay is our winner. Yeah, awesome. And she will be accepting our director category. I'm trying to remember our gang we got. I think we have. I want to say it's Edgar Wright, but I'm not sure. Of the group of directors that we have currently, I'm sure Ava will fit right in to the best category. But I guess we'll get ready with the best picture ones. Okay, so we're going to do 3 nominations for best picture. I know I told both Todd and Lindsay 2, I think. But because we have 3 on, we do 3 individually to come up with 9, and then once we've settled on those, we agree upon a film we can all nominate. So with that out of the way, I guess I'll go first. Actually, Todd is first. Sorry.
So we get 3. Okay, with 3 nominations,
yes,
I will start with Selma. Because I love it. I kind of went on my rant already about how I think it does a great job of presenting history, and I think it's really, really difficult to create tension out of a historical event that is one of the best known in America, and I think this film did a great job with that. So that's my pick.
First pick? For my first pick, let us see. I'm probably I'm gonna go with Grand Budapest Hotel. We've nominated it a couple times. Obviously, it's a safe pick, but it's one I love a lot. I think Todd had it on his list, so I'm sorry for etching that off.
It's all right,
but
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, it's not like we have 20 other films to pick from. So I think you're gonna be okay. Yeah. But Lindsay, you're up with our first back-to-back.
I'm gonna go Gone Girl.
Ooh.
Because I'm obsessed with that movie. It's so good. And I just love how interesting the characters are and what a weird plot it is. And how you never know, like, who to root for and the twist in the middle. You know what I mean? It's just really
For
good.
sure. Yeah, it's masterfully done. I know, obviously, and we don't talk about the other film David Fincher directed that's known for its twist. But that is a clear one where people like sort of prop it up. I feel like Gone Girl has a similar plot development, especially just sort of what you're going into expecting if you haven't seen the book at all. Because I was blown away by this. And the Cool Girl monologue is some of the best stuff of this decade. I know you can buy I saw this when I was Googling earlier. You can buy like a Cool Girl monologue t-shirt. I was like, what the heck? But Lindsay, you're up with your second pick.
Okay, my second pick is Wild. That movie like really, really hit me. And it's based on a memoir, which I also read and loved, but it's just so like inspiring. And I really love movies about like someone like going on some kind of journey to like figure out their lives, and a lot of times it's a man in the role, you know, like Into the Wild or stuff like that. And so like to see a role like this for a woman is not common, and it's done so well, and I really, really loved it.
I'm gonna go Whiplash here, just because we disrespected Damien Chazelle for the director. I mean, obviously, I was a part of that. Like last year, we left off Spike Jonze and
oh
God,
no,
the name's slipping me. The director of 12 Years a Slave, Widows. Oh my God, why can't I think? He's literally another actor.
McQueen.
Steve McQueen.
Yeah, I knew it was Steve something.
We left out both of them last week, or not week, but whenever we did it. So it's going to be tough like that. But I love the best picture category because we're expanding it to 10. And unlike the Academy, we always do 10. So that's my pick. Whiplash is phenomenal. This is a really, really impressive directorial debut. And just has an amazing performance. I'd say one of the best of the decade, even though it's supporting, and awesome music behind it. But Todd, you're up with your back-to-back now.
Now, is Mommy available? Am I correct on that?
Mommy is available. The only thing I will say, this is going to be, I guess, sort of weird if you don't know the intricacies. I'm talking to the first-time listener here, of course.
Yes.
But Mommy actually just got locked in to the tourney today.
Okay.
You're going to be listening to this on the weekend, our Top 5 Tuesday that Andrea did. She had Mommy at her number 1 for the year. So you can nominate it, but it won't be voted on because it's already in the tourney.
Got it. Okay. Well, let me think for a second, but I'll start by nominating Interstellar.
Okay.
Which is a movie that I am glad to add now that I have 3 picks because I loved it. It's rare, I think, for a movie to be like kind of a super smart sci-fi that is that long and also is interesting throughout. So it was kind of like a blockbuster, artsy 3-hour film, and I just think that that's really hard to do. So I am going to nominate Interstellar.
Nice. That's an amazing pick. I remember this. I don't see too many movies that aren't like major blockbusters. I know Interstellar is obviously a big budget here, but I remember seeing Interstellar 3 times in the theater just because I was so like blown away. Yeah, I was like, this movie rules. I love space, like space movies. Like I'm probably gonna see Ad Astra again.
I loved Ad Astra.
Yeah,
I didn't, but that's all right.
That's okay. But yeah, like Interstellar, The Martian, First Man, I was about to see twice. Like I just love space movies in the big theater. And I think Interstellar begs to be seen on the big screen. Todd, if you need extra time, I can go my second pick or third pick.
No, I think I got one. As long as I didn't mess up and this has already been picked. Ex Machina.
You are good to go.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of the most exciting, unique sci-fi films to make it into theaters for an extended period of time, and I'm so glad it exists, and I'm so happy to nominate it because it's a wonderful film that brought people out to the theaters for like something that was small, and I think because of it, all sorts of other movies are allowed to be made now. So I love it.
Awesome. For my last pick, I'm gonna go out with a personal bang, and I'll nominate to double dip on my director because I like to nominate a director and then nominate the film for Best Picture. I'm gonna go the Lego Movie. I know the Oscars aren't too big on animated films in the Best Picture category, and even more so, they aren't big on the Lego Movie in the animated film category. But I love this movie. I think a lot of people love the Lego Movie, and were really impressed by it. And I think there's value in comedic films. So that is the pick. Lindsay, you are up.
Mine's also an animated movie. Well, it was mine. I just
yeah.
But mine is also an animated movie. I went with Big Hero 6.
Love it.
It's so good, and I feel like it's so overlooked, and because it's such a great story and a great like superhero adaptation that doesn't get talked about enough. Because I mean,
it is a Marvel movie.
Yeah, And it's just so like touching and heartfelt, and I love all the characters, like relationships, and Baymax is just so iconic, and it's a beautiful looking movie, and yeah, I love Big Hero 6. Plus it made me cry, which is really hard to do.
Yeah, this is another one that I saw 3 times in the theater.
Yeah, it's such a good movie.
It has such an amazing heart to it. I don't know. To this point, like, is sort of spoiler for Big Hero 6. I guess we can talk spoilers because the movies have been out for a while. But like in a world where the character parents or brother or whatever, or some person they love dying at the beginning, there isn't usually an emotional payoff to that. Often brushed aside, specifically with Disney movies. I think we brought up, Frozen, like you don't even remember that the parents die when you get to the end of the movie. But Tadashi's death has a huge impact to the film.
It's
that I think
like one of the saddest things I've ever seen in any film, to be honest.
Exactly.
I just love the way they like touch on grief throughout the whole story,
Sure. I think the only thing I would say, and this, again, spoiler for Big Hero 6, just skip like 15 or 20 seconds ahead. They should have changed it. I think he should have said, instead of Tadashi not being here, I think it would have been powerful if he said, no, Tadashi's dead or Tadashi's gone.
Okay.
Like, just to switch it up would have, like, because that scene still gets me. Like, I still cry every time.
Yeah.
But I think if he would have flipped and said that, I would be like weeping like a lot. But yeah, no, awesome pick. So now we get the fun part of deciding between the 3 of us what film we all like.
Oh man, how is this gonna happen?
Have you guys seen Chef? No. Okay, so of the films that have been nominated that aren't on here, Nightcrawler, Captain America: Winter Soldier. I know Birdman's not nominated.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Birdman.
Yeah, we did not bring up Birdman.
Wow.
That's fine. Again, a lot of films, like, this is the first year where it's like super disrespectful. I know a lot of people love Boyhood. I'm not that.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Boyhood at all, did we?
I think Boyhood's a slog.
I think it's so boring.
Just, it bothered me so much because, like, I was in this film group in college, and there was someone that was like, oh my God, like, you have to see Boyhood, like, you'll relate to it so much. And he told me, like, about his, like, because he was from another country, and he's like, still, like, there was so much personality in it, like, and even, like, it resonated with me so much, even though we grew up so differently. And then I watched it, and I was like, this character's nothing. Like, I don't know.
It bothered me because it's such a cool concept, and he just didn't, like, do it well,
Now he's doing it again.
Yeah, it felt like 2.5 hours of build up to a moderately emotional moment. That was it.
I agree with that, and I think he wanted to, in him making it so realistic, like, he forgot to, like, make scenes that matter, I guess, if that makes sense. Like,
Right.
I don't know, because there was no investment of the characters. So this is our Boyhood talk, but not for the fans of Boyhood. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'd probably go. I'd put my hat in for Birdman. Would probably be my pick. But I don't know what you guys would want. If there's another one that we can agree upon, feel free to bring it up.
I actually like Birdman, and yeah, I don't think it's got enough credit tonight. I think
I like
I'm
Birdman.
fine with Birdman.
Cool. Then our 10 nominees, as followed, are Selma, Grand Budapest Hotel, Gone Girl, Wild, Whiplash, Interstellar, Ex Machina, Lego Movie, Big Hero 6, and Birdman. Really great picks.
Very cool nominees.
Very nice.
Great job, guys. So be on the lookout. Well, I was about to say this weekend because we're recording it early, which is like a first. But be on the lookout for the fan vote poll that comes out. So you guys can talk about your picks, or you can vote yourself because voting's fun, on what you think the best picture should be. And keep in mind, the fan vote has decided 3 of the polls. So I know there's some people that are like, oh, whatever, like 30 people vote on that. I don't need to vote. Like the fan vote's typically close, and then it counts as one vote to the All That Film post group. Did I say post? Host group. And yeah, it decided that Drive won. It decided Her won, and I think it decided The Master, but I can't remember. So it's very important. But that's going to be our entire Oscars with Todd and Lindsay. And we're going to round this out with some recommendations for the week. Todd, this is the portion where we just talk about either a movie, a show, a music of any sort, and a piece of arts, anything that you want. You can talk here. So what is going to be the thing that you are watching or consuming in any way? If you need me to go first, I can. I sort of sprung this on you. I just realized.
No, that's fine. Could you go first? Give me a second. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So I'm actually doing something I don't normally. I'm watching TV recently, and this is going to be a little odd because I'm not sure how great this show is. However, I will say the team behind the Dark Crystal TV series, I think it's called like a New Age or something weird, like other title that follows it. They put together something really, really cool here. Dark Crystal is a pretty old property, so I was a little hesitant because it is sort of cult status. So them trying to make a TV series is odd. Through the first 2 episodes, the production design is incredible. And they still use puppets. They do occasionally look a little different sometimes. That's why I say I'm a little hesitant on this to bring it up. But it's something I'm really, really looking forward to because I sort of watch TV 1 episode a day or further separated. I don't like to binge stuff just because I forget about it very quickly if I do that. So that is my pick. Todd, do you have something, or do you want me to go to Lindsay?
If Lindsay's ready, that'd be great.
I can go. Yeah. I just recently watched the Before trilogy.
Ooh.
And I love them. I love them. They're Linklaters movies, Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. And I was always like hesitant to watch them because I was like, that sounds just like 2 people walking around and talking. And it is. It is. But it's really, really good. So yeah, if you sound hesitant about it, I recommend checking it out because it actually is really entertaining.
Which is your favorite of the trilogy?
Sunset. I love Sunset.
Hey. We were talking about this, I think, because it got brought up in 2013. And I think Gabby was well, maybe Gabby hasn't seen that now that I'm thinking. But there were Before Midnight and Before Sunrise. And I was like, no, guys, Before Sunset. Like, it's
Sunset's
so perfect.
The best one.
In like 82 minutes. And
yeah, it's short enough, but yeah.
It's beautiful.
And then the last like 2 lines, oh my God.
Every time. Yeah, no, I love that film.
It's so good.
All of them are incredible. And what's up?
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say this is one of the few. So I credit Good Will Hunting and this as 2 of the films that sort of got me into dialogue-heavy movies. Because most of the time, yeah, my friend, he makes fun of me because I do like The King's Speech, but he was watching it, and I was like a teenager when it was on. And I was like, hey, come on, this movie's boring. Like, there's British people. Let's go. And I wasn't as high on talk-heavy movies. And I think that's where it really opened it to me, where it was like, oh, no, you can literally just have 2 people falling in love, and that can be the movie. And it's incredible.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What were you going to say, Todd? Sorry.
Oh, are you ready? Sorry, my sound went out. Yeah, I think what I'm going to be doing a lot of, since October's coming up soon, is watching a lot of horror because I'm a horror fan. So I would probably just say, if anybody's interested in it, that the major 3 series that people watch are Halloween and Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street. And in Halloween, I really enjoy parts 1, 2, 7,
About to get crazy.
and
7,
11 are the ones that
Wow.
I like. So-
You heard Todd.
And if you're
1, 2,
into-
and 7, 11.
1, 2, 7, 11. If you're into Friday the 13th, I like parts 2, 4, 6, and 7.
Of course.
And if you're into A Nightmare on Elm Street, I like all of them. So
Oh,
enjoy.
wow.
Yeah, there you go.
That was actually a surprise.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you guys are
So
watching
there
the
you go.
Todd cut,
Yeah.
a lot of fun. So that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. If we want to find either of y'all, whether it be Letterboxd or whatever, where can we find you, Lindsay?
I'm so sorry. What?
For Letterboxd, sorry. Where can we find you on Letterboxd? Were you about to tune me out when I was doing my thing at the
No, I'm so sorry. Something happened on my phone and I got
Oh, no,
distracted.
you're good. I thought you heard, like, we're wrapping it up and you knew, like, I do my monologue thing and you were like, oh, time to shut
No,
off.
sorry. Some people were messaging me. My name on Letterboxd is Sunflower Lindsay and then another sunflower.
Emoji, of course.
Yeah.
Todd, what is your Letterboxd handle?
My Letterboxd handle is bracket or whatever it is. Todd. I'm Todd. If you look up, if you look, I'm Todd.
Cloud.
I'm
The
Todd on
cloud.
Letterboxd.
You just said, just look up Todd. You'll find me.
You'll find him.
You'll find me. Check me out.
Todd, if you look up Todd, you get Sweeney Todd, Todd Phillips, Todd Haynes. Let me sort by people just to make sure.
Just sort by people.
Okay,
Where
you
am
are
I?
the first one. Yes, no, you are.
If you type Lindsay, I'm the first one.
That's what I'm saying.
Never mind. You have earned the title of Todd.
I'm Todd.
If you guys want to follow me, you can do so at 50 Shades of Hay. If you guys want more All That Film content, you can follow us on Twitter at All That Film Pod. You can email us questions, concerns, comments, anything like that at allthatfilm1@gmail.com. If you guys want to see the list of films that are currently locked in the tourney so you can catch up and make sure you have those all seen, you can do so at allthatfilmpodcast.wordpress.com. A little bit of a mouthful, but the link is posted on our Twitter as well. And then if you're listening to this on YouTube, this podcast is available on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Spotify is a little crazy and sort of drops some of our episodes, so we're trying to alleviate that right now. But that's where you can find us. And then Todd, Lindsay, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Had a great time. Thanks.
I look forward to seeing what wins.
Yeah, me too.